Hello everybody and welcome back to False Nine Footy. So according to Fabrizio Romano, Manchester United have signed Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford for around £70 million. So let's kind of break down this transfer. So Bryan Mbeumo, he scored 20 goals and got 7 assists last season in the Premier League in 38 matches. So he played every game. This move, honestly, it completes the two kind of attacking midfielder / winger positions that Ruben Amorim uses in his system. So last season, if you watched Manchester United after Ruben Amorim came in, he established a style of play and a formation. So the formation is a 3-4-2-1 with 3 center backs, 2 wing backs, 2 center mids, 2 attacking midfielders or wingers, and then a striker. So this season, Ruben Amorim brought in Mateusz Cunha from Wolves for around £60 million, and now he's brought in Bryan Mbeumo for £70 million. So £130 million between two players, but those two players are going to be the two attacking mid / winger positions kind of next to the striker. So if we're looking at the 3-4-2-1, they are the two right behind the striker. So am I a fan of this move? The only thing about this move that people will scrutinize, and I could see, I could totally understand that. Even me, I'm kind of on the fence about it, is the $70 million or £70 million price tag, because that's, again, a lot of money. Bryan Mbeumo, he's a good player. He's a very good player. So it's just, people will say 70 million because, again, you got Mateusz Cunha, you got Bryan Mbeumo. 130 million pounds between two players is a lot. And the thing with Manchester United is, again, those two are great players. They're going to help a lot. But here's the thing. Manchester United need a striker. So again, this move is great if they do more. If they're done this summer with just those two acquisitions, I don't think they're going to do. I think they're going to improve the squad. They're going to be better, Manchester United next year. But it's not going to be an immense jump in terms of quality, because they need more. So Manchester United, they need a striker, and they need midfielders. They need midfielders and a striker desperately, right? Because you're going to have Mateusz Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo playing the left and right attacking midfielder / winger positions, right? And you have depth for those positions as well. Ahmad on the right. Again, I think they should keep Garnacho, because there are players that you have to get rid of. So if we're looking at players that you have to get rid of, you have Rasmus Højlund, you have Mason Mount, you have Antony. Those three all have to go. You have Rashford, Sancho. So, Sancho. So, again, you have at least four players you have to get rid of, right? But again, if we look at the striker position, again, a player I mentioned, Højlund, they really don't have a striker. Højlund needs to be sold as soon as possible. Had an abysmal performed inadequately last season. Scored only 4 goals in the Premier League in 32 matches. Xerxes wasn't much better in terms of production. 3 goals, 1 assist in the Premier League last season. But he only started 14 matches, and Højlund started 23, and he was the first option basically in attack, Rasmus Højlund, and he just if you watched him play, watch Manchester United play last season, he wasn't good enough, especially for the amount they paid for him. So Manchester United, they desperately need a striker. So if we're talking, options that are available right now, given you have like players like Ekitike and David. Ekitike is pretty much gone, I think, to Liverpool. But again, you never know. But Jonathan David, he's gone. He's at Juventus. So if we're talking about strikers that are available, you've got Samu Omarodian from Porto. Really, really good player. He's 21 years of age, 6'4", 19 goals, 3 assists in the Portuguese league last season for Porto. So really, I'm a big fan of Samu. I think he's going to be really good. So you can bring in a guy like Samu Omarodian. There's Moise Kean from Fiorentina. Also scored 19 goals and had 3 assists in Serie A. Again, I think Moise Kean, he's finally taken that next, that leap that for so long, Moise Kean has kind of been a player that he's had potential, but he's just never fulfilled it. But last season he was great for Fiorentina. I think he'd be a great option as well at the striker position. You've also got Osimhen, but I think he's going to stay at Galatasaray, and also it would be a lot more expensive than Samu or Moise Kean. But yeah, Manchester United, they absolutely need a striker, and they need midfielders. So if we're talking available midfielders that would improve the squad, quite a lot, we're talking Felix Nemecha from Dortmund. I think he'd be the ideal fit for the formation and the style of play that Amorim wants. He's very good on the ball. He's poised, great passer. Yeah, so Nemecha for me would be the perfect option. Obviously, you had players like Malik Tillman. He's off to Bayer Leverkusen. He would have been great. But another option would be Ederson from Atalanta. He's actually a lot more expensive than Nemecha. For me, I would go Nemecha because Nemecha, according to Transfer Market, is worth around 28 million euros, which is like 26 million pounds, which is honestly like that's honestly a very fair price for Nemecha. So if I were Manchester United, I would look at Nemecha. There's even Illich from Torino. He's not bad. You've got Arthur Vermeeren at RB Leipzig. But for me, the best option would be Nemecha, because in midfield, you have, like, in terms of like serious midfield options, you have Ugarte, you have Bruno Fernandes, Kobe Mainoo as like for me he'd be great like off the bench, but you don't really have much, right? For me, Eriksen has to go, Casemiro has to go, Mason Mount has to go. So like I said, you really only have currently at Manchester United Bruno Fernandes, Manuel Ugarte, and Kobe Mainoo. So a Nemecha would be amazing, because then you in that 4 in midfield, or the 3-4. So you have the 3 center backs, 2 wing backs, and then the 2 center mids could be Ugarte and Nemecha, or Nemecha and Bruno Fernandes, or Ugarte and Bruno Fernandes. You can interchange them. So they need a guy like Nemecha or Ederson from Atalanta, and then at the striker position they need a couple of those options that I previously mentioned. So defensively, they're actually all right. In terms of center backs, you have Lenny Yoro, you have De Ligt, you have Lisandro Martinez. Again, the formation that Ruben Amorim plays, the 3-4-2-1, I don't love it. I don't love wing-back formations, even though they have a Dorgu, they have a Diogo Dalot, they have Mazraoui. I think if he does, again, stick with his formation, they would need a backup left wing back. So like maybe a Nathaniel Brown from Eintracht Frankfurt. Yeah, I think he'd be a great option, but yeah, this move it definitely moves Manchester United in the right direction, but they still need a lot more, because if you don't have like Mbeumo and Cunha are great, but they need a striker, because they're obviously they're going to provide and create chances, so you need a striker to be clinical, and yeah, the midfield, because if they don't improve the midfield, they're not going to control the game. They're not going to have like the midfield. It really controls like the tempo, and the midfield is so important. Like you don't want to get overrun, you don't want to get outmatched in the midfield, and if Manchester United don't do anything in terms of bringing in midfielders, that's what's going to happen. They're going to get outmatched, and they're not really going to have control of many games if they don't improve that area of the squad. So again, this move for Manchester United is great. Again, the only problem with it is maybe that it's 70 million pounds, like, because it is 70 million, like paying for Mbeumo and Cunha, that's 130 million pounds. You can only spend so much, so it means you're going to have not as much money to improve other parts of the squad. Like if we're talking about other options that weren't Mbeumo that maybe they could have gone after, Johan Bakayoko, went to RB Leipzig for 22 million euros, which is an incredible price for a player of his caliber. You had Magnez Akliouche at Monaco they could have gone after, and obviously, ideally, in an ideal world, that right attacking midfielder position would be occupied by Mason Greenwood, because he was exceptional last year at Marseille, and I think his potential is greater than Mbeumo's, and yeah, but you know what, Mbeumo's a good player. If they could have got him for maybe 50 million pounds, 45 million pounds, I think this deal would be looked upon a lot more in a lot better light, but it is what it is. Brentford wanted that amount, and they paid it. But again, Manchester United need to improve other areas of the squad so that they can obviously put out better performances. But if they don't, then I think it moves them in the right direction, but they need more. So yeah, with all that being said, thanks for watching.